And we are live. How's it going, everybody? I'm here with a special guest today, one half of the Marshalls, and that is Bill Marshall to my right. How you doing, Bill?
I'm good. How are you, Adam?
Good, man. Listen, I appreciate you taking the time today. I know you've been taking a backseat to YouTube videos lately, and I thought of this idea, and I was like, who better to talk about skateboarding and movies than the OG, as we say it, which is Bill. But what's going on, man? How you feeling?
I'm pretty good, man. Just getting over the Christmas hump, working, same old, same old. We are taking a little break from YouTube, but we have a couple videos coming out over the next month, so not completely dead.
Nice, man. Anything you want to promote real quick, or just in the works, or?
Just like kind of the basic thing that you've been seeing around YouTube recently. Like I already filmed a video of like my top 10 favorite like physical media releases that have come out this year. And then probably at the start of January, we'll do the typical we do like these tier list shows at the end of every year where every movie from this year we'll put in like a tier list, like, S tier, A tier, total garbage type tier. So we'll probably get to that on a live stream probably within the next week or two.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds good. And before I forget, at the end of the show, shout yourself out. Obviously, you're the Marshalls on YouTube. I believe
Yeah.
you're Shred NJ on Instagram.
That's right. Yeah. My name's Bill. I have been skateboarding for just almost 30 years. So it was kind of an honor that Adam asked me to be a part of this. Like, skateboarding is a huge part of my life. I am like a manager of one of the bigger skateboard shops in New Jersey, NJ Skate Shop. So it's skateboarding. It like is my life essentially, aside from like the horror movies and stuff that we talk about on our Marshalls YouTube channel, which is like the other part of my life. But our channel, yeah, like it's a lot of like old skateboarding clips. If you go back, it's mostly, I used to use YouTube as a skateboarding dumping ground from all the footage me and all my buddies would get. And then it slowly turned into like, oh, you know what? I want to share my passion for horror movies with my wife. So that's what the channel's become for essentially the past 2 years.
Yeah, and piggybacking right off that, we met at a horror convention, Chiller Theater in the Hilton in Parsippany.
Yep.
In I always forget the spring show, not the fall one that just came up.
Yep.
But it was actually really funny how it happened. I'm pretty sure I messaged you the night before, like a nerd, like, hey man, if you're at the show, like I'd love to meet. And I think I missed you the time before that, and Brian from B-Dub's Movie Hub ran into you. So I was like, oh, I got to meet up with him and Vicky as well. And by fate, we hopped into Linda Blair's line, which was torturous. It was literally like, you were literally right behind me, and she was like an hour late, and then we had to wait an hour to get her autograph. But it was honestly one of the best convention experiences, because usually running into someone, it's like, hey man, like love your content, take a picture, and then it's gone. But we talked about everything from like horror movies to Jersey and stuff like that. Obviously, you're in Hudson County. I'm about an hour or so away. But yeah, man. So that was a really awesome experience to meet you and stuff like that. So
agreed. It's always fun to like run into people that you talk to on YouTube, because I expect the same when I meet someone. It's just kind of like, hey man, like cool to see you in person, and then like, all right, see you later. But it's always nice when people like actually want to talk, you know what I mean? Like you mentioned B-Dubs, Johnny Horror, I'm pretty sure you met him a couple times. Like he's always been really nice to us at conventions. Garrett from Born to Be Rad has always been really nice to us. Just like so many, like my buddy Joe, who does the Movie Dumpster. I've known him since I was a kid, so that's a little different. But yeah, it's just really cool when you have like share common interests and people can put a face to a, the person you see on YouTube, that you're, yes, I am a real person. Like I'm not just making these silly videos. So
especially me, I do my Clark Kent, I hide my tattoos and things and stuff. So I'm pretty sure we did like a double take. Same thing with Brian. I was like, you're Bill from the Marshalls and stuff like that. And but it was a bunch of fun. Real quick before we start, let me show off. I did the whole, I'm sure you're familiar with like the 9 Club, right? Where they do the podcast and talk about everything. So I wanted to show the audience real quick. I got some goodies in the background. We've got a Tony Hawk Birdhouse Funko Pop, and I'm not the biggest Funko Pop fan, but I love this one because I mean, Birdhouse.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was him in the 90s, and I mean,
Yeah.
you would know more than me. This is more his like 80s like
Yeah,
quaff.
that's it. That's what he called the McSqueeb.
Okay, cool. So it's kind of weird because Birdhouse
Yeah.
is like early 90s or whatever. So I don't know if this is accurate at all.
I did. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I didn't know they even made like skateboarding Funko Pops. That's actually kind of cool. Like I would be into something like that because it's just kind of like, whoa, like why would they make this? But very
yeah,
cool.
he's even got, it's probably impossible to see, but he's got a little board there. As well, over here is I mean, bam, one of my favorites. So the 411 video magazine. If you guys don't know what this is, it's a video magazine skate company, and basically they actually had a really cool day in the life with Jason Dill when he lived in New York, and that dude just like he's awesome. He's like a hippie. He's like a transient dude. Like he's got long hair and stuff. He's been on like the Osbournes and everything, and he can shred. So this was really cool. There's even like, I've even got the old school like get BAM gear at PacSun and stuff in there. This is, I've had this since whatever this was, 2002, 2003. We're moving right along at also at Chiller Theater, but an earlier show I was able to meet Bam, and had to have him autograph my my childhood copy of Jackass.
Nice. Yeah, I've got my CKY2K copy back here.
Oh, that's sick. Is that your favorite of the four?
Yeah, I mean, like as I've gotten older, obviously, like I'm not like super into that kind of stuff anymore. But yeah, I grew up like I first saw CKY like before it was called CKY, it was called Land Speed. It wasn't CKY yet.
Okay.
So like, God, that had to been like, I first saw that maybe like 97 or 98. But yeah, 2K is by like far and away my favorite, mostly because it is the one I think with like the most skateboarding in it.
Okay. Now, was
So,
that,
like,
what is that? A company, Land Speed, or was it, how did that
yeah,
work?
Land Speed was an old wheel company out of Tum Yeto back in the 90s. And once it like gained popularity, like they just renamed it CKY because it sold like hotcakes. And then obviously there was 2K, then there was 3, and then there was the fourth one. But yeah.
And that, what was so cool about that one was that you know, obviously pre or early days of the internet, they kind of just like stuffed those things in skate shops, and really word of mouth would like got those DVDs out. They're not on, you know, they're not on Blu-ray or anything. And it was just like, these guys are, it had something for everyone, because it was like, if you love skating, like you said, there's skating in it. And if not, there's just buddies like pushing each other in shopping carts and just like having a fun time.
Yeah.
So those things were absolutely amazing. And a couple more things real quick. I was showing you backstage. I missed the days of, this is my first autograph I ever got. The demo days, as I call it, when you would go to like a mall or a skate shop or something.
Skate demos, hell yeah.
Skate demos, man. Mike V would show up, and there'd be some sketchy like fun box or something in the parking lot, and he would just, you know, do what he can do on this little, like, people who didn't know skating were just like, let's put this together real quick. Who's going to be the skater?
When I was in college, I because of NJ Skate Shop, like I was flow for a lot of skate companies. So touring teams would hit up NJ and be like, hey, can you have one of the locals like show us the spots? And Mike V came around when he was on Element, and I showed them around for a whole week.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he from Pennsylvania or Jersey?
No, he's originally from Edison.
Oh, dude, no way.
Yeah. Very, very nice guy. He's not he is not like the aggro dude that
the fighter,
you know, was portrayed.
Speaking of one of the CKYs, I'm pretty sure there's like a fighting monologue of him.
Yeah, it was like Mike V versus 4 random ox or something.
Yeah,
like
just
yeah.
going crazy. And then a couple more things real quick. I'm pretty sure this was the first video I ever had, but that's the DC video.
Nice.
From 2003. And obviously what most people remember with this is, you know, the Robin Big Black segment, pre-Robin Big. But for me on the front, Danny Way's sort of like mega ramp explosion. I don't know if this was the first one. I think Bob Burnquist had his own. But that segment to me was like, just blew my brain. So him doing the mega ramp, and obviously this, you know, the forklift and dropping and everything. I thought, you know, Danny Way and probably like Colin McKay was on here as well. But yeah, so the DC video, and then two things sorry, I'm trying to, probably can't see this as well, but I've had this for a long time, and I hang it up on my wall. Of course, we got the Powell Peralta Ripper old school deck. This is probably my cousin's favorite graphic. So had to have that with the skeleton, and like you're mentioning, like, you know, some sort of horror inspired elements go into skateboarding. And then right here, this guy's a horrible person, but we got Mark Gator here with, if you know the story, I'm not going to get into it. And This one has vision. My dream, if you have it at your shop, whatever, please hit me up. But there's this is my second favorite board that I got from I went to my buddies. I went and visited my best friend in Arizona. They had a mom and pop skate shop, and this one was on the wall talking to me. I've been looking for years and just sort of that 80s colorful aesthetic. But the one I really want is, you'll probably remember, it's called like the Psycho Stick or something.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It's got the he's got his hair all like spiked up and stuff, and his eyes are like circular, crazy and stuff like that. But I'm guessing it would say Vision, it wouldn't say Gator because of all the trouble that I'm not going to get into. But yeah, this thing is just so absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, man, just moving right along. I did want to say too, obviously we were talking about you skating and everything, and your last video, or one of your last videos, I loved, man, your Delaware vlog.
Oh yeah, me and my buddies over the summer.
Yeah, it's like you and your buddies. It's something like 24 hours in Delaware or something like that.
Yeah.
You ripped this. I don't even know what you would call it. It's like a front side tail slide over this like grind box thing. So it's like a front side tail slide over the grind box, but then you like revert or 180 out.
Oh yeah.
It was clean. How'd you set up that? Did someone else set up the camera? How'd you kind of make that work?
Usually, like, at least nowadays, like, it'll just be like my phone will be just set up leaning on a water bottle, or if you, obviously if you're there with your friends, which we were, like, you know, someone else will be holding the phone. But like things have changed so much since like I grew up, like the days of like my buddies holding the VX1000 with the fisheye death lens on it, and like we're recording it straight to mini DV tape. Things are so much easier now, especially if you're just trying to get like a fun clip, which is like what that whole Delaware thing was, is just like us skating one day. It's not like too serious, you know what I mean?
Right.
But like growing up, it's like, you know, you bring out the camera, you bring the tape home, you capture all the footage on like Final Cut and stuff like that. But yeah, most of the time it's just these days, like I'll just take my phone and like lean it up against something and be like, good enough for, you know, my Instagram.
Yeah. No, but that footage was sick. But we got a couple comments in the chat. Let's see right here. Collector Movie Man, what's up, Dave? Hey, Adam, I'll watch a little bit of this, but I'm pretty tired tonight, so I'm going to bed early. No worries, man. You can watch it on the recap. We've got my buddy Joel, Darkroom Reviews. Evening, fellas. We've got Acres of Movies. Hello and thanks from Stacy. What is your favorite acting? Wow, acting performance.
Too many to name.
Too many to name. I'll just go to my what do you call it? My what I always say, which is Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight. And then she says 5 underrated movies from the first. Oh my god, I cannot do that.
Oh man.
Let's so appreciate everybody watching, and let's hop right into it. I think what we're gonna do is I'll do one and then you'll do one, Bill, and we'll just go back and forth. And then obviously if I say one that you have, we'll talk about it at the same time. And like we were saying backstage, there's I only have like 3 of these, so I'm gonna be holding up like pictures and stuff like that while we talk about it. But without further ado, with my OCDC brain, I kind of went in order of release and everything. So real quick, we're going all the way back, way back to 1976 with Freewheelin'. Who remembers Freewheelin'?
I've never even seen it.
It's very, very retro. I mean, you can see that it's like, what is going
that's
on?
that's the one where they're like, they all carve around on like the clear like mini ramp. Is that what that one is?
I haven't seen it in a while. I know Stacey Peralta is like the main person in the film.
Okay, so that must be what got him started on wanting to do like the Bones Brigade video show and like Animal Chin and all that, right?
Probably. I mean, he's obviously very young. To my knowledge, this is like the first feature-length skateboarding video. There's probably been other ones, but this one's like an hour and change and stuff like that. It's cool to like throw on. I think it's on YouTube, and you know, just see like what 70s skate culture is, because most people think of like 80s skate culture and all that stuff, but like the opening title sequence is like I don't know who it is, but some dude like bombing a hill, and he's like hanging 10 like a surfer, like his 2 feet are like facing forward instead of facing to the side. He's got like this weird like I don't even know, like stance and everything. They do like they like skate the banks. So it's like they'll have a if you ever seen like the LA River or anything,
oh yeah,
just straight away, and then they have like these little banks, and it's so cool because on these little essential like planks of wood. You'll get like Stacy Peralta or someone, and they're just kind of like, I don't know, they're pumping before pumping, and they're doing all these tricks and everything like before we can, before skating pools and all stuff like that. And then there's also a shot of what's it called? If anyone's a surfer, if they know like Endless Summer from like the 60s and stuff like that, that was probably like the first big surfing movie. There's, the whole gimmick. Skateboarding really started when there was no waves for surfers, right? So like people were surfing and it was like, oh, there's no waves, or it's too cold, or there's a storm or whatever's going on. And they obviously made their own planks of wood, and they would probably rip off like wheels from like roller skates or something like that.
I mean, that's pretty much like, describing, just to like bring up another one, like they made a movie like a few years ago, like Lords of Dogtown, which is essentially the story of the Dogtown and the Z Boys, like them starting out. They pretty much, I hate to say they invented skating, but they were definitely the first ones that got like a kind of national acclaim for it.
100%. So yeah, man, that's a pretty one of the first ones there, but I'll go to you for the next pick.
Cool. I mean, if you're talking skateboard movies, you have to mention Thrashin'.
Yes, sir.
Josh Brolin, obviously. He is just like a goody skateboarder coming from like the Midwest out to California, and runs afoul of this crew of like badass skateboarders called the Daggers, who is essentially their leader is run by Robert Russler. If you're familiar with Nightmare on Elm Street 2, he's like the best friend. But it's really cool. A lot of like really famous skateboarders of the time are in it. Like Christian Hossoy's in it. Tony Alva is in it. Just like a really funny, goofy take on what people thought skateboarding was in the 80s. Like they're essentially like, having a death match. Like one side is the Daggers, one side's Corey Webster and his buddies, and they just roll into each other down the ditch and like battle, all because Corey Webster, Josh Brolin's character, is in love with the head of the Daggers' sister. It's just like a really silly but really awesome take on skateboarding from the 80s.
Yeah, for sure. I got that one down here as well, but I don't own it physically. Another couple things I wanted to add was you had Christian Hossoy, Tony Alva, of course. They have like a weird concert segment with like the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
Which is super funny to me. And I've seen them in concert at Madison Square Garden, but those first 3 albums are rough, man. I can't listen to them. They're so like, I don't even know what to say. They're just too like funky and drug trippy and stuff like that. Oh yeah,
that was like when they were at the height of their probably
addiction.
Bad times.
Yeah. Like even like Hillel, their old guitarist, was on there, and stuff like that. But like you said, the downhill race at the end, Josh Brolin has this, like super all red outfit, like Michael Jackson or something. And you said Grady from Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Oh yeah,
is in there as well. And I'm trying to think what else they had. Like you were saying, like the skate, like jousting thing. This is probably the same time as like American Gladiators, if you remember that in the 80s.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's just super 80s cheese. Josh Brolin, and yeah, man, that's a really fun one. That's one of them that, like, if you weren't a skater, you probably saw in theaters or rented on home video or something like that, just because of the I don't know, the bigness of it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously having Josh Brolin in there definitely is going to get like people to see it regardless. So
yeah, and we've got, let's see, my boy Brian, Adam, Bill, my fellow New Jerseyans. I will catch the replay here tomorrow, but just wanted to drop in and say, hey, well, Brian, I really appreciate that. All right, what do we got next? We've got moving right along. We're gonna pull it. You can pull yours at the exact same time. We've got 1985's Back to the Future. Yes, sir. You got the Blu-ray right there, box set.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Nice. Yeah, so Back to the Future, listen, obviously not a skateboarding movie, but came out in 1985. So, Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, the iconic skateboard scene. In my mind, I wasn't there, but it had to have gotten like thousands of kids to get a skateboard.
Oh yeah.
It was one of those things where it's like skateboarding was really like punk rock. It was underground, right? So like if you weren't in like, I don't know, states bordering the coast, like in New Jersey or California or something like that, maybe you're in the Midwest or something, you were like, you had no idea what this was unless you got a magazine like like a Trans World or Thrasher or something like that.
Mm.
And so to me, this really brought like skating to the forefront, and
Sure.
people, got kids on skateboards. It starts with that iconic scene of like, they're in a diner, like Marty like punches Biff, and then he's doing his little getaway and stuff like that. The little kids are on what's like a makeshift scooter. It's like a skateboard. They have the wooden boxes that they're holding on. He like rips it off.
And just starts pushing away.
Just starts kicking and pushing. But what I love about that is he's got this like crazy like kick tail, like razor tail or something. And he's not manualing. He's kind of like, I call it razor tail. I don't know what you would call it.
Sure, just dragging the tail, and there's just like sparks flying.
There's like fireworks. We're like, what is going on? This is kind of crazy. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, it's one of those things too where you would know way more about this than I do, but it's in that time in the 80s where it's like it's bringing street skating to the forefront. Like most people, like you were saying, Christian Hosoi, Steve Cab, and everybody in the 80s were, they were skating in bowls and ramps and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
This was one thing where it's like, oh, holy crap! Like we don't need to live an hour, 2 hours away from like this nearest skate park. We could just go rip down our street with our friends, and we just need a ramp or a rail or something, and we can get in the street. So
right. Yeah, it definitely came at a time when skateboarding was transitioning from like the vert skater to the street skater. And I mean, if you read like a lot of pros in the 90s will attribute like Back to the Future, seeing him sketching on the back of the truck even at the beginning of the movie. They're like, what the hell? Like that is why they started skating. Whereas like someone from my generation, like seeing like the MTV Sports and Music Festival or like the first X Games ever as a kid was like whoa, like what is this? So very cool.
Yeah, man. So yeah, you're up.
All right. And speaking of thrashing, I don't have this movie, but Gleaming the Cube. Christian Slater, and you brought up your Tony Hawk like Funko Pop before. He is actually a character in Gleaming the Cube. It essentially deals with Christian Slater has an adopted brother who is mysteriously murdered. So Christian Slater and his gang of skateboard buddies kind of are like solving this mystery, trying to figure out what happened to his brother, and it ends up being tied to this like crime lord. So at the end of the movie, Christian Slater gets like all geared up in like the best skate gear that his buddy Yabo sets him up with. And they like Tony Hawk shows up in his like Pizza Hut delivery truck, and they all just like chase this guy down a freeway. Like Christian Slater is just like hanging onto a truck and like rides under an 18-wheeler on a highway. It is just awesome. And there's like some really great moments where he's like doing freestyle in this abandoned warehouse, which it's like so clearly Rodney Mullen doing the like the stunts for it, but it's just so fun. And it's like, it's not like a skateboard centric movie per se, but it's such a huge part of the movie. Like you're really just rooting for him to find out what happened to his brother. But as a skateboarder, like growing up and seeing like, oh wow, there's like a little 2-minute break of just watching someone skateboard, I'm like, this is right up my alley.
Right. Yeah. I have that pick as well. In refreshing my memory before doing this video, I think in other countries or when it released, they also called it Skate or Die somewhere.
Okay.
So there's that as well. Like you said, Tony Hawk, Rodney Mullen. That warehouse scene is so cool, and nobody else in the 80s, nobody else now can do what Rodney Mullen can do on a flat ground.
I mean, he's the godfather of modern like tricks, man. You know. I
mean, he essentially invented like the kickflip and just hundreds of other more tricks. But yeah, like you said, this one, I think for me, they this is the late 80s. I think this is 89. And I think at that point they were just like, let's try to lean into making this an actual movie. So like you said, they do like the whole like skate crime thriller. So it's not all about skating, but it's they try to put like skating on even though they have that segment of them just skating, they try to put that on like the back burner and be like, let's actually have a story and a narrative and stuff like that. For this one, obviously, like you said, street skating, Rodney Mullen, and then there's this weird, I think it's Christian Hosoi, but we were talking about like the pseudo, it looks like a bank, like an LA River thing, but he's like skating down, he skates down the bank, and then he does like an ollie over, there's like water and stuff like that. But I thought that was so cool as a kid. I was like, he just ollied, which could have been this little bit of water, but it just looks like massive.
I always thought it was really funny at the end, like as he's about to catch the bad guy, he like almost like surfs the side of the freeway Jersey barrier and just like shoots out onto like the bad guy. It's just like it's like so ludicrous, but so awesome at the same time.
It's absolutely crazy. But that's one I have. I feel like a lot of people they go between like Thrashing and Gleaming the Cube. But do you have a favorite between the two?
I would probably say Gleaming the Cube, just because I don't own it. So I'd almost would like rather watch that just because I can't just readily grab it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like I think they're equally as like fun, goofy, schlocky 80s like goodness. You know what I mean? But either one. But I think Gleaming the Cube, just because it's more of a movie and not like so silly like, don't you date my brother, or don't you date my sister, man. I'm going to beat you at the big skate contest, which is like corny. You know what I mean? But
dude, Thrashing feels like the Warriors in the 80s.
Of course. Yeah. It's like the skateboarding Warriors. It's exactly 100%. What it is. Yeah.
You know, it's funny on my channel a lot. I talk about like physical media and everything. And we've been very fortunate to get upgrades of stuff like, you know, Back to the Future on 4K. Yeah. But there's so many films, man. I mean, obviously, I know like 411 VM isn't going to get like a Blu-ray or whatever, but dude,
I mean, they're all, it's because it's all filmed like standard def, you know, like I've got like my skate videos here, and it's like, as much as I would love to see them like on a Blu-ray, it's just like, it doesn't benefit it at all because it's filmed on a tape. You can't make it look better. You know what I mean?
But the fit, like you were saying, the fisheye lens, maybe 16 millimeter if you're lucky.
Exactly.
But yeah, even like the Jackass films, like the first two the first two are only on DVD still, and
because it's filmed on standard def, man. It's just not going to look better regardless of what they do to it. So
yeah. But yeah, so let me hop on to the next one. So we're still sticking in the 80s, and of course we have to talk about, this is quite possibly the most, in my mind, the most influential skating video of all time. And I hope you have this, but man, The Search for Animal Chin, which was on my
I have it in with my skate videos in the other room.
Okay, cool. Which I had on the thumbnail.
You'd call that a film though? I'd call it a skate video.
Oh yeah, skate video. Yeah, for sure, skate video. That one is again in that mid time. I think I have here. It's 87, so right after Thrashing and stuff like that. The Bones Brigade, which to me is such a great name. Obviously, like the Zephyr Boys. But yeah, the Bones Brigade is just, I remember Stacy Peralta was like, I didn't want to have like skate team in the name. So instead of like the Zephyr skate team, he wanted to call it a brigade. So Tony Hawk has his iconic, like, he's got this whole like pink get up outfit. He's got like a pink outfit and like black spandex shorts and stuff when he's on like the chin ramp at the end. Obviously you have like Lance Mountain, Steve Cab, Mike McGill probably as well. And yeah, that one is just a bunch of fun. It's again one of those like Gleaming the Cube where they try to have a little bit of a narrative. So it's like, you know, they're looking for like the they have that fantasy storytelling, the chin ramp at the end, which is insane. You know, it's got like a full half pipe and stuff like that. And I think recently, or I don't know if it was the 30 or 40,
recreated it recently and they recreated it recently and like reshot the photo. Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Of like Tony doing the hand plant on the spine and somebody else doing the hand plant on the spine or something, which is crazy to see those dudes like still doing it in like their 50s.
Listen, Tony's, you know, he may be like obviously the biggest name of skateboarding, but he's just done so much for the sport. And, you know, it's unbelievable what he's done through the video games and through his skate. I don't even know what you want to call it, but he's like the best marketer, and obviously all the tricks that he's done and stuff like that. But yeah, man, he was just instrumental in that film. But do you want to talk about that as well?
Like Tony Hawk?
No, just Animal Chin, or did you?
Oh, I mean, to me, I wouldn't call it a film. To me, all the Bones Brigade videos, while they are super influential because they kind of started what a skate video is, that to me is like, I watch skate videos to get excited to go skate. So like I'll throw in like one of my favorite videos of all time, Baker 2G. I'll throw that on before like I'm about to go skate, just because like while there may be a narrative in some of them, I find it's more of just like filler to wait to get to the next person's section of skating.
Right.
But yeah, I'll always love the Bones Brigade stuff just because it's like, you know, they did it first, and it's just like it kind of set the standard for what to expect from a skateboarding movie per se.
Right. And I love I don't know what this was for, but I love there's a clip that I've seen a bunch of times on YouTube and stuff where Stacey Peralta has like an old like 2-box TV and he like breaks it or something and like takes a skateboard out of the TV, and I thought that was like the coolest thing. It's a cheesy. I don't know what it was for. Maybe it was for a Bones Brigade video, but it's just so cool. And he's like, this is a skateboard, and like, you know, smashes the TV or whatever. And he was sort of like what I was saying with marketing with Tony Hawk. He obviously marketed and filmed or molded the Bones Brigade as their leader or whatever you want to say. So
I mean, he's the godfather of the modern skate video, man.
Yeah. But yeah. So what's your next poll?
Next up for me is probably the movie that single-handedly kind of made me get into skateboarding, and it would be Police Academy 4: Citizens on Patrol.
No, I've never seen this. What's this?
Oh, dude. Well, have you ever seen the Police Academy movies?
Like the first one.
Just okay. So it's obviously it's a comedy series based around a goofy, just awful police force. And they always are just like hiring these goofball people, and somehow they always end up like solving the crime despite their lacking of ability. But it's just really funny. But part 4, it's called Citizens on Patrol because they want to hire new people. They look for citizens to come in and like apply for jobs. Well, David Spade and his best friend are these 2 skateboard punks who have a beef with the cops. And there's like these great skate sequences in it where it's like they get busted for the cops for skating, and David Spade's just standing there and he's like, that's not skateboarding. This is skateboarding. And then it breaks into like this awesome montage of like them skateboarding through the mall and shit. It's really, really awesome. And just like they're jumping over the cop car off of a jump ramp. It's just great. And then they eventually hire them to be like essentially like deputized cops for this police force. It's just fantastic. All the movies are great, but that one in particular is like, it's very skateboard centric.
So who was doing the stunts in the film, like the pro skaters?
Definitely like all the Bones Brigade dudes. Like Tony Hawk definitely doubled for David Spade, like 100%, because it was around the time he had that mixed squeeb.
Yeah.
So it was like him. I'm sure like Steve Cab was in there, just like all those dudes.
Except Tony was probably like 6 foot and David Spade's like 5.
Yeah. Like, but like they're like, whatever, we'll just film their feet skating. So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'll have to watch
you got it. That honestly is probably the best one of the bunch. I think there's like 6 or 7 of them.
Is there real? I only remember from the first one. Is the guy who does like the fun voices?
The funny voices, dude. Yeah, he's the best. Eddie Winslow or something like that. He's so good.
He's great. Yeah. So I'll definitely have. I love how, like you said, they get to the 4th one. They're like, we need to do a gimmick. Like skating's big.
Yeah, like skating's big right now. Let's just throw a skateboarding montage in there.
Right.
But I love it so much. Definitely like something that was hugely influential on me. Just like watching these goofy movies and being like, wow, skateboarding's pretty badass.
Dude, is that the only one with skating, or like 5
yeah,
or 6?
That is the only one. It's like just so random, but it works.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good pick. And that's what's fun, showing each other these picks that I've never seen that one. So I definitely need to add it.
Definitely. I mean, that one aside, watch all of them. They're all really funny, man. Really good.
Okay. Even 6 or 7 or how many?
The later ones obviously are never going to be as good as the first few, but still hella entertaining.
Because the last time I watched a franchise that just declined, each one was like Silent Night, Deadly Night. I was like, all right,
God, yeah. I mean, you could go down the line. They're all kind of like that. I mean, I think the worst offender for me is like Hellraiser. Like, you make it past Hellraiser 4, and you're like, it already was going down, but like, oh man, you get to 5 and 6, and it's like, it's so clearly not a Hellraiser movie. It's just, they're like, how can we sell this to the studio? They're like, I don't know, throw Pinhead in there at the last 5 minutes.
Dude, there's like Hellraiser, like Deader Hellraiser, like the one, which I don't know if it's this one, but it's like it has the Matrix like artwork on the DVD cover, and it's absolutely, it's horrible.
But they're so bad, those later ones, man. Like bordering on unwatchable bad.
Right.
and I love them still, but
But even with like, because obviously you're a big horror fan, like Silent Night, Deadly Night, like the second one is like just a pseudo recap of like the first one.
I love part 2 though. Like when I was in college, it was the first time I ever got a hold of the DVD of both of them, and me and my roommates like watched the first one, and then we popped in the second one, not knowing it was just a recap of the first one.
Right.
And we're just sitting there like, what are we watching? And like, we were so infatuated with how bad it was. We made a huge garbage day banner in our dorm room. So like when you walked in the door, it just says garbage day.
Garbage day.
But yeah, by the time you get to 3, it's like, what is this? Like Bill Moseley's the guy now. And then 4, there's just like these slugs coming out of women. And then 5 is like about the toy maker who has this like giant toy guy. Oh my God.
I'm actually going to pull up a comment real quick by my boy Luke Ponto. Currently doing a watch along of F1. I would love to see that F1. I think it's on Apple TV.
I heard it's great.
Oh, you saw it?
No, I heard it's great.
Oh, I heard it's great.
Yeah.
I just want to stop in and say hi. And Luke's a big horror fan as well. But I know he has the I think it's like a Vestron video release of.
Yeah, I have that
3,
one
4,
too.
Yeah, 3, 4, and 5 of but I guess that's the only way they could, sell all of them together. They have to
they know. Yeah, because they know they're not going to buy them individually.
100%. But that's really funny. But next up for me, we're skipping. I actually don't think I have any '90s picks, but we're going straight to. This is sort of my time, so I like how obviously I'll be, for reference, Movie Magic '96. I'll be 30 in like a month and a half or so. So I love obviously having the more the two aspects of, sort of 80s culture and how I grew up and got into skateboarding. But for me, this one I don't have. I think it is also stuck on DVD, but who remembers Grind, man, from like 2003? For me, like that, obviously I really don't remember anything from the 90s, being born in 96. But the sort of early 2000s, like
teen comedies.
Yeah. It's sort of this like, like the American Pie, like the whole Blink 182, like sort of the pop punk jackass, like goofy, whatever type of humor it's sort of my bread and butter. I kind of love it so much. American Pie is like my favorite teen comedy. Blink's like one of my favorite bands, if not my favorite. So this stuff is like what I still go back to, is like, again, not a good movie, but it's one of those things where it's like, that I have the nostalgia for.
Sure.
The early 2000 stuff. And so for this one, you have like Adam Brody, who's been in, a bunch of films, and Jennifer's Body and stuff like that. Like I said before, I think Bam Margera's in it for a little bit.
Ryan Sheckler shows up. Chad Fernandez shows up as like the enemy that he battles on a vert ramp at one point.
Yeah. But what I liked about this one, although it is cheesy, they have like Headstrong by Trap playing. And stuff. It's like, done it, like heavy.
Oh my God. And it's like it's just like the total opposite of what someone who was skateboarding at the time would be listening to, which goes to show that like whoever was like the studio behind it was just like, let's just make a skateboarding movie. What are kids into? I don't know. This Headstrong song sounds like perfect, right up their alley.
Right. Well, they're like, oh, new metal's big. Like, let's just do some, like, like it was either Limp Bizkit or whatever. But what I really liked about this film was it showed sort of like skate demos, right? So it kind of showed like, I don't know if they go to the Tampa Am or whatever, but they go to like this, they're these 4 buddies, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna like make it to be pros and stuff like that. So they kind of do this like cross country road trip, and obviously that goofy jackass like sort of prank culture comedy, and it's got, obviously, what I like about it is it has like the real skaters mixed in. I can't really remember if they got, Adam Brody, like, kicking it on a mini ramp or whatever, but they have that thing where it's like, okay, like we're going to show Bam skating. We're not going to pretend Christian Hosoi is like, or
one of the characters. Yeah.
Right. So it's, but it's really cool, 'cause like as a kid from, New Jersey or whatever, it was just cool to see like, I don't know how to say it, but just like these demos that I was lucky enough to go to a couple and like watch like what they would do, and how you would go from being like an amateur or a grom to a to be a pro. So I really enjoy that one still, and I have to pick it up. But
the only reason I like dislike it is because that's just like not how it works. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't just like pick up your buddies and be like, all right, we're going to travel and go skate for a bunch of people, and like at the end of the road, we're all going to turn pro. It's like, it doesn't really work like that. But I watched this one, like, I think like 2 or 3 years ago for the first time in a very, very long time. And like, I think I have a bit of nostalgia for it too, just because like, to me, for someone who's been skateboarding practically their entire life, it's very cringy, but like I like the cringe. You know what I mean? It's like so corny and over the top that like I kind of am like, I don't know how you like can dislike this. It's like you said, it's like very much ingrained in like that prank culture of like the Jackass times and like the teen sex comedies, like American Pie. Like there's a character in it who is essentially going to all these demos and like hooking up with the girls while everyone else is skateboarding. It's goofy, it's over the top, but like I commend them for trying to make it like skate oriented, even though it is like so not how it works. But still, right. I always have a soft spot for grind.
Yeah, man, I love this this time period and stuff. But to you and I will remember it, right? But to bring you back into the early 2000s, you also got to remember, like, you know, skateboarding in my mind, the early 2000s was when it was biggest, right? So Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was out. X Games were huge. They started in the late 90s and stuff like that. And obviously it seemed like not every movie, but every like TV show, there was like the skater character, like whether it was like Timmy Turner, like he was skateboarding, or like Danny Phantom, or like all these people, like it was cool to skateboard. And then also the marketing of it, you know, you would turn the TV on and you would see like Tony Hawk, like hawking pizza bagels or something. Right. Like
he still does, man. He still does.
Still does. I mean, somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
And now he's doing probably like back medicine or like, you know, something like that.
He should.
But yeah, so to me, this was kind of where, you know, early 2000s in my mind, that I don't want to say skateboarding peaked, but it kind of was.
As far as pop culture wise, I think that was the peak of it. Like,
yeah,
skateboarding is probably more popular than it's ever been right now, based on the fact that, like, you know, it's like in the Olympics. It's like, you know, there are kids that like, they don't even like skateboard for fun anymore. Like there's some kids that are literally like put into training routines, like with like skate coach type dads who are like, no, you're going to keep focus. You're going to be an Olympian one day, which is like totally defeats the purpose of skateboarding in my opinion. But like, it may be huge now, but it's not like pop culture huge like it was around the time that grind came out.
Right. I'm sorry it took too long on that one. I got excited.
No, you're good.
But yeah, man, what's your next pick?
You know what? I'm just going to throw this one out there. It's not exactly skate oriented, and it's a kind of a disturbing film on the subject matter, but Kids, man, Larry Clark's Kids.
Oh, wow.
Undeniable skateboard film, just because it stars so many New York skateboarders like Harold Hunter. You got Justin Pierce, who was like affiliated with Zoo York, and Harold Hunter as well. Leo Fitzpatrick, who is the main character of Telly. He has been ingrained in skateboard culture still to this day. Like he pops up at skateboard events. Obviously it's about like kids who are like kind of up to no good, like unsupervised, like drinking, doing drugs, and eventually it comes full circle and like ends up ruining almost all their lives when they contract HIV. It's a very dark film, very hard to watch film, because like you as the viewer know who is HIV positive, and like as the film goes on, you're just watching it being passed along, and it's like, as good a time as these kids are having, they don't realize like, wow, I'm HIV positive now. But very New York skateboarding based, obviously. You'll see a lot of like familiar faces of dudes who used to work at Supreme, like Alex Corcoran pops up in here. They're skating at Washington Square Park a lot in the movie. You know, maybe a dark movie, but it's very, very based in skateboarding.
Yeah, I think that was one, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think like Slacker and like Clerks came out like the exact same, like a year or two in between or something like that.
Same era, yeah.
Yeah, it was very indie DIY filmmaker sort of thing. But yeah, that one I've only seen it once, because I watched it, and like you said, it's like Requiem for a Dream. It like fucks you up.
Exactly. Definitely hard to rewatch, but
right. Great film, but yeah, something that is sort of like I don't know, shock value or something, that I honestly think it was one of those that like, maybe they passed around, like parents were like, we got to keep a closer eye on our kids, and like, you don't know what they're doing. And maybe obviously that was the extreme, like them, kids like smoking cigarettes in the 90s and like drinking and doing all that stuff. And it's actually funny. And again, with our age difference and stuff, how I discovered that was I'm a massive Mac Miller fan. And he has a mixtape that's called.
That's right. He had like the album with like the font, like
it says kids like kicking incredibly dope shit.
I only saw that recently, and I was like, oh, he definitely took that from Kids. Like I'm not familiar with Mac Miller's music at all, but like I saw that, and my head immediately was like, oh, whoa, very cool.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to see him at my brother's college when it was probably like a year or two after Blue Slide Park, so his first like feature length album. And when I was going back, like listening to like Macadelic and like all his mixtapes and stuff, I found that one. And even the I think it's the introduction or like an interlude or something when they're talking about like sex and stuff like that. He changes it to music, like so he'll like dub in like music is like what I love and blah blah blah, and that sort of monologue that I think it might have been Rosario Dawson. I'm not sure if it was her. Is talking about that in the film. But yeah, if you that's like one of my favorite projects of his. So definitely put that on if you like that sort of like suburban like backpack rap of the early 2010s and stuff.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so I'll go on. I think we mentioned this, or you mentioned this before. I used to have this. I don't know where it went. I actually like got rid of so many of my DVDs way back when, like an idiot, like probably most of us did.
I mean, I'm kind of going through the same thing right now too. Is like I've been like kind of getting rid of DVDs of movies I know I'll never watch. But I've also, it's like a never ending process of me, like movies I will rewatch is like I'm just buying them on like HD now. Like, I mean, even today, like we just like walked down to like the local like record store by us, and I bought 2 more and like replaced the DVDs with the Blu-ray. So I was like, it's a never ending process, man.
Right. Yeah, I've been doing that too, like with Back to the Future, with that's been it sucks because like when I'm a kid, right, you're buying the DVDs, you're spending all your money. Like I wasn't my parents had VHS, like we have like, you know, all the Disney stuff over here. And but yeah, DVDs were the first that I bought a bunch of, and now I'm kind of doing the same thing where it's like, you know, I had Indiana Jones on DVD, but let's get it on 4K, or I'm kind of skipping a update or going.
I mean, if you can skip right to 4K, more power to you. Luckily, I mean, lucky for you, because a lot of times like I'll have upgraded something to Blu-ray and I'm like, oh, but the 4K is like comes in this sweet thick box with like a poster and a book, and I'm like, I want that one.
Right. I have kind of like I don't know if people would like to hear this, but I've kind of like stopped buying like Blu-rays, just because again, like you buy the Blu-ray and the curse,
and then a week later the 4K gets announced.
Dude, I had the Edward Scissorhands DVD for, it was like the 10th anniversary, right? So it's like 2009. If it came out in 99 or 98 or whatever. Actually, no, it came out like 1990. So maybe this was like from 2000. And then I had the Blu-ray for like 5-6 years or whatever. And then the 4K Steelbook comes out like this year or something.
It's happened to me hundreds of times at this point, dude.
Right.
You're not
so
alone.
I do the same thing. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to stick to 4K. And, but that's sort of been I'm not buying a lot of new movies, but I'm again, rebuying the same ones, which is not a good thing. But yeah. So to go to the next one, we talked about this a little briefly. So I used to have this on DVD. I don't think it has a Blu-ray or 4K or anything, but Lords of Dogtown, man, this was one of them that, you know, sort of like a pseudo, what would you call it? Like a biopic of like the Zephyr Boys, the Zephyr team.
Yeah, it's almost like it's a true story, but obviously like they embellish it a lot just to like add drama, and like, Heath Ledger's character as like the owner of the Zephyr shop. But like, as far as I'm concerned, this is like one of the best skateboarding movies that like has ever come out. It's just because it's kind of, I think because it's so grounded in reality, it's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean?
I watched this to death. I mean, this came out 2005, so I was 9. I remember like begging my mom to like see this in theaters because it was just like, you know, I don't know, just one of the coolest. Like when you latch onto something, it's like your world. You're like, you know, you love skateboarding, so you have to consume as much of it as possible. And in the age of like you know, social media, obviously like MySpace, Friendster, like all those things were out and about, but you couldn't just go on like YouTube and like type in like clips of Bam Margera or whatever. You had to like, you know, grab the TV guide or whatever and be like, all right, Viva La Bam's on at like 8 o'clock and I got to go upstairs because, you know, there's cursing and my mom doesn't want to hear it and like all these things. So when you could find something and, you know, this movie's coming out, I'm going to watch it, and I consumed it so much. But like you were saying, I love Heath Ledger. He plays like this over the top, like hippie. I don't know what his name is, but he's the guy who
essentially gets the ball rolling for them, like as like a skateboard team.
Does he own the Zephyr shop or who?
Yes. Yeah. But like it's a surf shop. So like his focus is surfing. So when skateboarding started to fully explode is when you kind of see his character kind of crumble under the pressure and try to like keep his edge, but like he doesn't want to lose surfing. But like obviously the skateboarding thing's making a lot more money at the time. And like you just see him go through it, getting like drunk all the time and stuff like that. And then all the characters, obviously, like Stacy Peralta is a character in the movie. Jay Adams and Tony Alva are characters in the movie, played all by like real professional skateboarders. Like Don the Nuge Nguyen is in there. Like Adam Alfaro plays a character, all like real skateboarders. But it's just, I think because, like I said, it's grounded in reality, is like there's a lot to work with there. And it's like the only time I think drama has actually worked in a skateboarding film, aside from like something like Kids, but that's not based in skateboarding, you know, that's just a piece of it. But yeah,
I think Jay Adams was Emil Hirsch.
Yeah.
And he obviously did like Girl Next Door, and like he was kind of blowing up at the time.
He was definitely in his prime at that moment for sure.
Yeah. It's really interesting to me. If you guys don't know, I'm sure, you know, it's a movie channel. I'm sure a bunch of people don't know about the Z Boys. But the three sort of main guys went in such different directions. Like Tony Alva, I never knew how much of like an asshole he was, like until watching that, or at least during that time, watching that film and stuff like that. He was a little strict. And then Stacy Peralta was like, I'm going to be sort of like the poster boy.
Yeah, the goody.
Goody, like the long blonde hair, like wear you know, the goofy helmets and all the things to like sell merch and stuff like that. And like, you know, Tony Alva was the rock and roll bad boy with like the signature Alva in script on his boards. And
Jay Adams, like just like kind of like, because he came from like a poor background, kind of like
went to
dove into gang culture and stuff. And he kind of lived that life, man, until he died. Like, but I can say that Tony Alva, while he does come across as like kind of like a pretentious ass in the movie, he is super mellow now, like super cool. He did like a demo for our shop, like I think 1.5 years ago, and like skated our like little local park. He's cool as hell, very down to earth guy. Yeah,
dude, you gotta
hit
me up. I gotta come to a demo and watch.
I posted like a silly YouTube short, like I think at the time, where like I do a trick on a bank and he comes up right up behind me and just like kind of like Bertelman's on the bank, we could like classic, you know, like late 70s kind of thing, which isn't really a trick. He's just kind of sliding. But it was just like one of those things I was like, told my friend, I'm like, yo, point the camera at the bank. Like I'm going to do a trick with fucking Tony Alva.
Dude, that's incredible. Just to be in the same room as him, but to skate with him is
yeah. I mean, for such an older guy, man, he's still very mobile.
Yeah.
I was impressed.
One of my favorite scenes of the film is like when they're again like skating the banks and everything. It's so cool to see, like with how skinny their boards were. They also show a scene of like their boards used to be hard. I don't know what you would call it, but they changed from, I don't know, but they had like this hard plasticky sort of board, and then they changed to like polyurethane. And it completely changed everything, because instead of like hitting a pebble and flying 80 feet.
The wheels were essentially like made out of like rock and metal. And then like they made the urethane wheels, which was like a game changer.
Right. So you could do the slaloms and the carving. And I love how they would like, to me, I don't know much about him, honestly, but Jay Adams would skate so aggressively, how he would just kind of like, you know, put his hands on the concrete and slide and do carves and stuff like that, like he was surfing. But that was, he would skate so aggressively, and he was probably my favorite of the bunch. But I really, really love that film. And then the soundtrack too, they had like Social Distortion and
for me, it's the Rod Stewart song when Heath Ledger.
Oh, Maggie May.
Yeah, when he's sanding the surfboard.
Heath Ledger's
I love that.
Yeah, that was a good. I think they do like a Bowie, like Suffragette City or something too. But yeah, man, that's a great moment. He's getting like emotional and like
I'm pretty sure that's like the end of the movie. It's just kind of like he's like, it's okay, I could always still work on the surfboards, man.
Yeah, but so what are you thinking for your next pick, man?
I still have a decent amount. I mean, if we're talking recently, Jonah Hill's movie, mid-90s.
Yes.
Very, very skateboard based. And it stars a real life, still current pro skateboarder, Nickel Smith. It's just like about like a young kid who's trying to figure out his life. He's, you know, going to like skate spots with like his older friends, and like it's kind of a coming of age story more than a skateboarding movie, but it's very true to like how skateboarding is. It's like you're just going out with your buddies and like trying to get better at skating. But this one kind of like evolves into this young kid just figuring his life out. Like drinking a beer for the first time and like getting yelled at by his like family members, like, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. But I'm not like the biggest Jonah Hill fan, but I think like mid 90s is like a super great coming of age story that just so happens to have like skateboarding as a very huge part of its story. Like it's about skateboarders and like what they do on a day-to-day basis, hang out at the skate shop, watch videos and all that.
Yeah, I have that one as well. I don't own it physically, but like
me
you
neither.
said,
Ironically, I should write that wrong.
it's A24, so they probably have a cool, like, I see your Midsummer set over there.
Oh yeah,
have a cool like version of it. But yeah, like you said, written and directed by Jonah Hill. It's cool to see him grow up from like you know, like the fat nerdy dude in Superbad trying to score beer and stuff like that to be able to.
You seen a picture of him like from like this past week?
No.
He's like on the he's on like the set of some movie and he's like, dude, he is like rail thin now, man. It's crazy.
Good for him. I hope it's all like healthy and everything. And
same.
Yeah. But yeah, what I love about this film is Jonah really captures, again, I can't remember the 90s and stuff like that, but it feels authentic. Like it's filmed in like letterbox, like 4:3, which is, you know, before widescreen was a thing, kids. So and it has you know, it has dialogue that's obviously problematic today, but you know, they'll say things, but that's kind of unfortunately how it was back in the day, right? You'd say things and curse a lot, and kids would be, like you said, drinking and smoking and stuff like that. My favorite scene is probably they're doing like the gap over the roof, like where the hole is. It seems so natural, where it's just like the progression of like you said, a session, right? So like some dude goes, you know, all right, we're going to go up on the roof. And then somebody else goes, I'm going to ollie it. And then the next person unfortunately falls, but it's one of those things where it's like, it's just like a hangout session. You're just, you know, it just feels very authentic. I wasn't the biggest fan of the ending with the whole, you know, crash and everything and stuff like that. But I do, and for someone like, I was never, me and my buddies skated, but none of us were ever good. So it made us feel like, or when I watched it, it made me feel like we fit in, because it's like, we could never, like, sure, we can like, you know, drop in on a mini ramp, do an ollie. I could never grind. I could never do anything like, you know, I could flip a kickflip. I could never land a kickflip, stuff like that. But it was cool to see somebody how like he was just hanging out with his buddies, right? It didn't need to be skateboarding. It could have been like whatever, but your peers were so important to you growing up in the pre-social media era. And it was if it's something healthy and you're hanging out with your buddies, like go for it, man. Like, so.
Yeah, I will say, like, I think the reason a lot of times skateboard movies don't really work is that like the act of growing up and skateboarding essentially is kind of boring. You know what I mean? Like, to like, if someone was watching from afar, it's just essentially you and your buddies, you know, going out every day trying to get better at skateboarding. Maybe eventually like someone does get better, but there's no like real drama there. You know what I mean? So I think mid 90s is like almost like the most real, like just hanging out with your friends, goofing off and like trying to get better at skating. It's a very accurate portrayal of like what skateboarding is, especially when you're like very young. But yeah, I love this movie. The first time I watched it, I couldn't believe it. And the fact that like apparently Jonah Hill, like back in the day, like he used to go hang out at skate shops and like watch videos just like the character does in mid 90s. Which is like bizarre, because like I remember like when I first read that when this movie was coming out, I was like, get the hell out of here. Like the kid from Superbad. Like I couldn't, it was hard to believe.
Yeah, so I definitely I enjoy that one as well. I have to watch it again because I haven't seen it in a long time.
Same here.
Forget what I was gonna say about it, but oh, the soundtrack. There's an awesome soundtrack to it. There's like Wu-Tang was on a very hip hop flavored, but there was a there's a Wu-Tang song that was probably in the trailer. Yeah, so he definitely killed the soundtrack as well. And I don't know if that kid Sonny something with the long
Soldic,
hair.
yeah. He's pretty good at skating now, man. It's kind of impressive.
Oh, so was he an actor turned skater or skater actor? How'd that work
out? I'm not positive. I just know like every now and then he'll pop up on like my Instagram feed or something, and I'm like, wow, like he got good at skating.
Yeah, no, good for him.
Yeah.
Was that your choice or my choice? I can't even remember.
That one was from me.
That was yours.
Yeah.
I only have one more because we were because you knocked off a bunch of ones that I was going to go to. So this one, I'm actually curious to see what your thoughts are on this one. This one's hard to find. I've owned this since 2009 when I was 13 years old. But who remembers Street Dreams, man?
Oh God,
from 2009. You see? Okay, there you go. Right. I think there's two. People love it or people hate it, right? So I love it.
Oh God.
All right. But for me, right? So this came out in 2009. I was a massive Paul Rodriguez fan. So for me, right, like it was Tony Hawk and Bam Margera were my favorites in the late 90s, early 2000s, and then it really transitioned to Paul Rodriguez and Nigel Houston, and Nigel's my current favorite. Yeah, so you got Paul Rodriguez, you got Terry Kennedy, who a lot of people might not know. You've got Ryan Dunn. So this was really like Rob Dyrdek's like brainchild. He like wrote it, directed it, produced it. There was an episode of his of Fantasy Factory where he like screens it for like an audience and stuff like that. Yeah, so for this was like we were saying before, this is supposed to be like a more a drama film. They kind of have a Paul Rodriguez is trying to be a famous skateboarder, right? His whole life is like he's not going to school, he's breaking up with his girlfriend, like all these things that he's dealing with, and like all he cares about is skateboarding. And so I think they go to the Tampa Am and for him to do the knack, which you guys don't know what it is. It's called the Not a Chance, and it's a 360 flip crooked grind. Yeah, we call it tray flips, but it's a 360 flip to a crooked grind, which is pretty insane. But down this massive, I think Tampa only has like one set of stairs, right? It's like the one set of stairs with the grid. I mean, they change it every year, but yeah. Oh, do they really? Okay. Oh yeah. Tampa Am is one of those places where it's in like a Tony Hawk Underground game. It's one of those like legendary, very small environment. But so this one, you can't get it on Blu-ray or anything like that. I was gonna say, I don't think I've ever even seen a physical copy in my life. Yeah, it says like I probably on the day went to like BurkalaFilms.com and like whatever it was, and it's there's like a young Sheckler in there on the back with P-Rod, Terry Kennedy, Ryan Dunn, P-Rod. I really enjoy this one, but I would love for you to say why you hate it. So for me, it's just like it was cringy for me to watch people that like I looked up to skateboarding wise, like Paul Rodriguez, like at the time was like top tier professional skateboarder. And that's like all I saw of him. This is also like the dawning of social media. So like you didn't know like what people were into outside of skateboarding, and to watch him like kind of like act cringy and act like he didn't know what the hell he was doing was like bothersome for me. And it's also the way like Ryan Dunn's character, like it just didn't work because again, it's not what skateboarding's like. Like you don't just like go to Tampa Am and land like a trick like a 360 flip crooked grind, which is, it's funny how commonplace like seeing that is nowadays, but you don't just do that and it's like you're set. You know what I mean? Right. I do appreciate the fact that they use like real skate lingo, obviously with like Dyrdek writing and directing it. Like he's like, oh, we got to go knock the knobs off the rail to skate it. Like that's all like very real stuff. But the drama behind it to me doesn't work because it's like, you shouldn't have drama behind skateboarding. It just, I don't know. I think it mostly has to do with the fact of Paul Rodriguez as the lead. And I don't think he's a good actor. Right. He's a skateboarder, you know what I mean? Right. And like nowadays, like he's still a pro skateboarder, and owns Primitive, still rides for Nike and all that. But like he's very like YouTube focused now. Like he's just like filming sessions at his skate park and stuff like that. But it's tough though, right? Because when you get to, what is he, 40, right? Like 38, 39, 40. 45 probably. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's one of those things like you were saying, like when you're young, you just want, it's like you're a musician, right? You just want to get your record deal, right? And skateboarding's so different than like football or basketball and stuff like that, because if you, first of all, it's not, you're not signing the $10 million contract to play for the Lakers or whatever. You're signing whatever you're doing. And the problem is, it's like if you can't, at least back in the day, right? If you can't get footage for your video part, if you can't get a picture that's going to be in a magazine or on social media or stuff like that, if you're injured, you're out for a year, it's like you're not doing the do tour, the competitions, it's like you're not really making money. You're not selling boards and stuff like that. So it's one of those things too. And it's tough. So I think once you hit whatever his age is, 45 and stuff like that, you have to it's not that you have to hang up the cleats, so to speak, but you kind of have to
you have to let the young guns take over. Like, but people will always want to see you skate. I think that's what a lot of pro skateboarders these days don't realize is like a lot of the older heads, like some of my favorite skaters growing up were like Mike Carroll, Rick Howard, stuff like that. It's like these guys barely have any footage in anything anymore. And even when they pop up doing the most simple trick, it's just such a treat. Like, we just want to see you skate, man. We grew up watching you. Right. And I think P-Rod is struggling nowadays, not during Street Dreams, to like let go of like being top level. I think he's having a hard time with that. He's still very good, don't get me wrong, but like this next generation that's been coming around is like, it's out of control how good they are, man. It's like me watching, like, I don't like watch a lot of the competitions like Street League or anything like that, but I'll see the clips posted on Instagram and I'm like, my mind is like blown. Like, these people are doing things that like are scoring low. And it's like only 10 years ago, it would be something that would be like revolutionary to skateboarding. And these guys are just doing it like on the one.
Right. It's absolutely crazy. To see people like the in the Olympics, Yuto, the Japanese skater, I don't know his last name, but to see him, I'm a massive, Nigel Houston's my favorite current skater, one of my favorites of all time. I would put him, I think I DM'd you one time and we were talking about like our Mount Rushmore of like skaters and stuff like that. Obviously I'd put like Tony Hawk on there. I'd have to, for the marketing standpoint and everything and what he did for the sport. I would personally put Nigel Houston as the young gun just because he's probably the most decorated skateboarder of all time. And although he hasn't gotten that gold in the Olympics, he has done so much for skating. He's been a pro since like he was like 10 or 11 or something like that. And he's a couple years older than me. And but like you said, man, with like Yuto and all these people that are coming around that are just doing tricks that are just like that are doing it so effortlessly, and they're so tech, and it's like I don't know, it just blows my mind. But I don't know, man. Even on ramps and stuff, right? So when you saw like the 900 from Tony Hawk in '99 at the X Games, you would just be like, that's it. Like, nothing's going to top that. And now you're seeing kids like Jagger Eaton's doing it at like 12 on like the mega ramp. And you're like, how is this even possible? Like, this is video game stuff. Like, I
mean, it's just like, that's how things go, things progress. And like, as an older person, you should be welcoming to that change, which some older skateboarders have been. Like, my favorite skateboarder of all time is Heath Kirchart. He retired when he was like, no, he's still alive.
Oh no, I'm thinking of someone. Okay.
Yeah. Heath Kirchart is still alive. He was just like one of my favorite skateboarders, like big handrails, like huge gaps and stuff. Like, that's what I grew up seeing. Now skateboarding's a little more low key. But like, he just bowed out because he's like, this is like as good as I'm going to get. And he just retired. Like, whereas a lot of pro skateboarders now are essentially like milking it. You know what I mean? It's like their names are on a board. They're still cashing a paycheck, but they're not like producing like these young guys would be doing. But
and even the tricks that are, so much more than me. So feel free to correct me, but even, just doing everything switch. So if you don't know, right,
if
you're on a skateboard and your right foot's in the back, your regular stance. And if your left foot's in the back, you're goofy and you're facing that way. So yeah, but when people are just doing tricks switch, which is the only way I can describe it to other people, is like if you're shooting basketball with your opposite hand.
Ambidextrous.
And it's like, it's hard enough to do, I don't know, on like a 10 stair, like a kickflip to crooked or whatever you're doing, right? But if you're doing it opposite, like I really can't even push with my back foot, to be honest with you, just like having fun and stuff like that. But if people can, it's insane how they can do like a tray flip, switch or backside or whatever. And so yeah, man, it's unbelievable how much it's progressed. So
sure. These days, like,
was there a moment
these days, I mean, there's people that are just, oh, go ahead.
I apologize. I was just going to say, was there a moment for you, like, that you, I don't know, you saw something on a video and you're like, I can't do that ever, right? Like, somebody did some crazy trick and you were just like, this is like, I'm bowing out, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, since I've been a kid, yeah. I mean, like, I grew up watching skate videos. Like I have thousands of skate videos. I still watch every single new thing that comes out every single day. And like, since I'm a kid, I've seen stuff where I'm like, well, I'll never be able to do that. And it's like, I was amazed that like I was able to progress as far with skateboarding as I possibly could. Like I was getting free boards, free shoes, free clothes, like free trucks, free wheels and everything. And then like I blew my knee out, which that to me, like there was never like I never saw someone do a trick that I was just like, well, I can't compete. It was always like, to me, skateboarding is almost half like marketing yourself. It's like, will you sell a board? Like that's almost more important nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
But like once that happened, I'm like, I physically cannot like skate the way I used to skate. Cause like I grew up skating like handrails and like big sets of stairs. And it's like nowadays, if I'd like jump down like a set of 6 stairs, like my knee is jacked, dude. Like if I land sideways just skating a ledge nowadays, like there'll be times where like, oh shit, I guess I'm not skateboarding for a few weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. The level of skateboarding has always been so high compared to like where I was at. But like nowadays I can't even fathom. Like if you're like coming up in skateboarding, you almost have to be better than where they are to even like get a chance. Like, I mean, I'll open Instagram and I'll see the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. And it's just some random kid in like North Carolina. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah, just speaking on that for a minute, like obviously we grew up sort of without social media, and then we were growing up with it, but it's crazy how I feel like, speaking of video parts and everything, and if my audience doesn't know about this, like the DC video or Elementality or just things that we grew up watching and stuff like that, you would wait. Sometimes it would take a year, you just knew like there's going to be a plan B video or there was going to be something, and it would take a year, and they kind of would go like, all right, let's go to different spots. Like we could go to a famous spot in Hollywood, but let's go to Spain, or let's try this and that and stuff like that. And again, the crazy thing about skateboarding is, it's amazing in football when you make a catch and you run for a touchdown and stuff like that, right? But in skateboarding, it's like, all right, you almost have to be like an artist. You see this ledge and you're like, all right, I'm gonna, someone did a crooked grind on it, and I'm gonna do a 50-50 grind, and I'm gonna, backside 180 out of it. So you kind of have to think about what you're going to do before you do it. And it's crazy. There's no Super Bowl. So it's like, there's Thrasher Skater of the Year, but there's really no sort of like,
yeah, you're in it for yourself. You know what I mean? And like, you're in it, like, at least if you're at a professional level, like you want to skate your best, like you want to be proud of what you're putting out. But yeah, they're skateboarding is a very personal thing. Like there's no reward, there's no trophy. Like to me, like the skateboard competition thing, like I understand it's a part of skateboarding and it's like a way for a lot of people to make money from skateboarding, because there's really no money in skateboarding if you're not sponsored by like, like a Red Bull or like a Nike or Adidas, New Balance, things like that. So like you kind of have to do that if you want to make it a career at this point in time. But it's like, if you're like, my favorite skateboarders, they're all street skaters, like they're core, they're bleeding on the pavement, like to get a 2-second clip in a video that maybe like, someone will watch once nowadays. But it's the reward of like landing it after, battling it time after time. Like that to me is like the best part of skateboarding, is like the feeling of like what it feels like to conquer something you've been trying over and over again. But
that's what's so crazy about competition skating, right? So there's obviously, you could be vert skater or street skater, but if you're a street skater in a competition, whether it's Street League or Do Tour or the X Games, which I just recently found out there's like multiple stops on the X Games. I haven't watched it in so long. It used to just be like California, now it's like Brazil and all these other places. But in the Olympics, but with street skating in a competition, it's like you have to do a line of tricks. You have to land all of them, and it's crazy how it's like you have to. That's really like chess, man. You really have to go, all right, I have enough speed to get to gap on this ledge, and I have to, I don't know, you have to do all these tricks in a run. And it's so different than like, like you said, for the video parts, where it's like, all right, we're gonna go to I don't know, this 11 stair in Hollywood or something, and like, you have to skate all day, maybe all week, to just get this 2-second clip. And
right.
the unfortunate thing about it is, now with like social media and everything, it's like someone like
instant gratification, man. I think a lot of people are struggling with that nowadays in pro skating, is that like, it's like, oh, well, like I can just post it to Instagram. And I think my problem with skateboarding nowadays is like the full length skate video, like the Baker 2Gs, the photosynthesis, the girl mouse, like they're not making like full length videos anymore. They're making content for Instagram, or they're making like just one person will have one part on like Thrasher's website. It's not like a team collective. So there's kind of like this camaraderie that has died out of skateboarding. And it's just like I don't know how to put it, on the internet, stuff is just like you watch it once and then it disappears into the ether because there's just a sea of stuff coming out constantly. Whereas back in the day, like you were saying, like there were skate videos I was waiting up to 5 years for. And when it finally showed up at the skate shop and you went and you picked it up and you watched it over and over and over again. Whereas nowadays it's like, I'll see what the new video, the Chris Jocelyn just won Skater of the Year. His part just dropped on Thrasher. It's 4 minutes long. Guess what? I watched that video part one time and now I'm waiting for what's coming tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Right. It's same thing with movies, right? Like you have a movie that comes out and you're just like, dude, or Stranger Things right now, right? That's the talk of the town and will be for the next 2 weeks. And after that, it's like, what's the next thing? And it's
exactly.
It's very weird how it kind of has changed our minds and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. It's but that was my long rant. Do you have any? I actually don't have any more. I don't know if you have a bunch.
I've got a couple more. I'll just like rifle through them real quick. So there's another movie that came out relatively recently called North Hollywood. It is directed by Mikey Alfred. He ran a skateboard company called Illegal Civilization for a while. It's essentially same thing as like Grind, but like a little more seriously toned. Vince Vaughn is actually in it. Cool. It's about this kid who's just like having troubles growing up, but like he's trying to make it in skateboarding, and his dad doesn't really understand why he doesn't get a job, things like that. And he's like, I'm going to make it as a skateboarder. So it deals with him like dealing with that like drama in his life while also trying to get better skating. And then eventually at the end, he just like winds up getting on a team and they want to take him on a trip. It's kind of corny, but it's grounded in reality for the most part. And like having Vince Vaughn in there adds a little level of like credibility to the movie. Mm-hmm. It's not great, but it's like also not terrible. What else we got? Next Friday 2. Justin Pierce, who's in Kids. He's Casper in Kids. He is like Ice Cube's best friend. And there's a couple scenes in Next Friday where he's like bomb dropping off of like stages and shit onto a skateboard. And like, it's just funny having him in there as an actual skateboarder before he passed. So there's that. There's also the guy who made Kids also made What's Up Rockers, which is this movie is so bad, but
okay, I haven't heard of it.
It's just like about this like kind of like Latino skateboarders in like LA who are just like robbing people like in like rich neighborhoods and stuff. I haven't watched this in years because like every time I've watched it, I'm like, this is just brutally bad and corny. But there's that. What else do we got? Obviously, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There's like Mikey has the skateboard in the sewer. It's not like a big part of the story, but you have to mention it.
Mm-hmm.
What else? There was a movie called like Paranoid Park, which takes place at Burnside, which is a famous DIY skate park in Portland, Oregon. I think there's a movie called Ken Park where there's skateboarding involved. There's a documentary a few years ago called Minding the Gap, which I think won a lot of awards. Very interesting stuff. There's obviously, you're talking about Bam, how you grew up loving Bam. His movie Haggard, there's skateboarding sections in Haggard. What else? Obviously Jackass, CKY. Yeah. They're kind of more, they're not really films or movies or anything, but there's obviously skateboarding aspects to them. And for one more. This is terrible. Shredder Orpheus. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of this. I think Vinegar Syndrome put out like a special edition of it. I just have like a bootleg DVD, which I have no desire to upgrade because I hated the movie, but it's just like a post-apocalyptic weird, I don't even know, fever dream of a movie where like some of the characters just so happen to skateboard. But yeah, that's really it.
Oh, am I frozen? You frozen?
I'm here.
Oh, can you hear me?
Me? I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, you froze, or I don't know if I froze or you froze, but I don't know what else to talk about, man. This was a bunch of fun. What else can we talk
Yeah.
about real quick? Is there any like legendary like skate parks you've been to or want to go to, like
Oh, yeah.
Woodward's in Pennsylvania, kind of right by us?
Yeah. I went to Woodward. I have a funny story about Woodward, actually. I went when I was a kid, and I broke my wrist the first hour I was there. And ended up staying, which was fine. Second time I went, I caught chicken pox and had to leave early. Third time was about like 15 years ago. I was supposed to go. And the day before we were all supposed to go, I tore my ACL in my knee. So to me, like, there's like this weird curse for me in Woodward. Like, so I do not go to Woodward anymore. But yeah, I mean,
go back.
Yeah, but I mean, you name it, man. I've gone to all the famous like skate parks and stuff like that. I mean, like while I was still in skateboarding, like trying to make a come up in skateboarding and like do the whole like maybe I could be a pro skateboarder thing, which is very long past at this point. But like, you know, I went to San Francisco multiple times, LA multiple times, Denver, Chicago, Florida, Miami, like North Carolina a bunch of times, but like visited all the famous spots like the China Banks in San Francisco, Pier 7, San Francisco, LA, like obviously like the courthouse and like the brick bank that's famous out there, all the famous spots.
Is Skatopia still a thing?
I have no idea. I was always too scared to go, man, just because
those guys were aggro. They will
those dudes were you. Yeah, they're out of their minds, like on drugs out there, and like up like to crazy shit. But like I had the opportunity to go one time and I was just like, I'm not going, man. Like I'm too nervous of like something getting wrapped up into something bad, because it just seems like that's all they were into, blowing up cars and just like doing crazy drugs, like just because they own that weird plot of land where the cops don't mess with them. But
yeah, it's very I don't know. They do whatever, but I definitely saw like a documentary or something about it where it's really
I did too. Yeah.
Yeah. They live there and they, you know, do crazy stuff and blow stuff up. But yeah, they kind of just are transient. Like people just,
that's essentially like what it is now, is like people that are kind of like vagabonds with nothing to lose, nothing to do, will go there and just like live there. And I don't know how the hell like they make it, but they somehow do.
What's the one in I think it's in Florida, and remember that Tony Hawk level where there's like famous slalom? Kona, yeah. Have you been there?
Oh yeah. Jacksonville. Yeah. It's fun, but old and beat up. I haven't been there since they redid it. They redid it like I think over the past 5 years, and it looks super fun. Like it's all cement now. Like they always had like the snake run to like the big vert wall and stuff, but they put like a big cement park where all the wooden ramps used to be now. I saw like, I don't watch a lot of like YouTube skaters, but like there's this one channel called the Dern Brothers. They're both pro skateboarders, and they do like fun stuff where like they do skate history, like famous spots, and name all the tricks and stuff. But they went to Kona recently, and it looks so much better than it used to be.
They actually just did I watched them too, and they actually just did one with BAM where they do these, I don't know if it's Hollywood or California.
Yeah, they played skate on the Hollywood 16, which is like absolutely insane.
They have to be pros, both of them.
Oh, they are, yeah. Kanan's pro for zero, and Dalton's pro for heroin.
It's crazy. Yeah, to do skate on a 16 stairs, like what is
to me, it's like the craziest thing is that like they skate at such a high level. Specifically for me, like Kanan is crazy, like good on like handrails and stuff, which is like not commonplace anymore. And for them to just like take time out of like, you know, skating stuff like that to film YouTube stuff is mind blowing.
Well, they must get, I mean, they probably have millions of followers and get some good money.
Oh, for sure. That's definitely why they do it now. But like to still skate at that high of a level while keeping up with like a YouTube channel, to me is like, that's like adding a whole new workload. You know what I mean?
I love how both of them are, I forget which one it is, but they skate so different, right? Like when they were playing skate, one of them did like they ollied the 16 stairs, and the other guy was like working on grinds and stuff. And they kind of like, even though they're brothers and probably grew up like outdoing each other, like they both have weaknesses and stuff.
They skate very differently, which is like a cool dynamic. I mean, dude, to play skate on a 16 stair is like that's just like, I'm amazed they made it out unscathed. You know what I mean?
Well, right.
Like,
You talk about landing on your knee. Could you imagine having that shock absorption to your body for even if they land the tricks, right? So you're doing that for 10 hours.
I mean, you want to land. I mean, that's the safe. That's
right.
When it's safe. Like, at least if you land on the board, like, you're not getting hurt. That's like how I look at it nowadays. You know what I mean?
Right.
If I'm skating something a little larger than what my knees are used to anymore, I'm just like, just make sure you land on the board, man, and you'll be fine. It's when you start like taking the impact straight to like your leg. That's when I'm like, holy shit. All right, I gotta tap out, man.
And I've never done that. So just to be clear, but just the only thing I can think about it is just if you weren't a skateboarder, right? Imagine running and jumping off of a 16 stair and landing on your knee. It's the same thing, right? I mean, it's probably worse on a skateboard because you have to pop up. To ollie up on a ramp or something, and you're going faster on a rail. But
it is kind of mind-blowing the amount of like torture that like I was unknowingly doing to myself, like just grinding handrails like for hours on end, for days on end. It's like, and like wake up the next day and do it all over again. Nowadays it's like I skate for maybe like 3-4 hours like on a Saturday morning. I'm like
down for the
like I'm nearing 40, you know what I mean? So it's like the next day I'm like, oh, I got a limp. And it's like, it's not because I'm hurt. It's because I'm just sore.
Yeah. No, you definitely have to.
Crazy stuff, man.
I never had to stretch or do anything. And now just pushing on my longboard.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Stretching, and I got the massage gun and the biofreeze and everything. But dude, honestly, even like we can even talk about it, like just standing at a retail job for 40 hours a week is crazy.
Oh, sure, man. Yeah. I mean,
doing the lean and doing everything. And
I stretch every morning. I have to, like, otherwise I'm just like a stiff rock. I don't know if it's like scar tissue from the years of abuse I put on my body, but like, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
But look, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I really appreciate this. We've been going probably for like an hour and a half, and but I would love to do another one. Maybe we'll do skateboarding TV shows. We were talking about like Jackass. We were talking about like Timmy Turner and like all this stuff, and we could do all those funny sideshow characters and stuff. But yeah, so I had a bunch of fun. If you want to plug yourself again, talk about what's coming up, talk about everything. I really appreciate your time. So
no, I appreciate you having me on here, man. Hopefully I had some insight into some more stuff that maybe no one has ever heard of or anything like that.
Dude, Police Academy 4, I'm on it.
Oh, you got it. It's one of the best. And just to plug one of my buddies, my buddy Sean and his wife Pill, I've known for years and years. They have a t-shirt company that you might be familiar with called Cinema Slime. They're doing a line of t-shirts, one for Police Academy 4, one for Thrashing, and one for Gleaming the Cube. Nice. So like, sorry for the free plug, guys, I guess. I don't know.
No, go for it. Yeah. Dude, your shirt, man. You got a Jason Voorhees, you got the NJ logo.
I do. Yeah. Like, go visit NJ Skate Shop. Like, they're my family over there. I've been like essentially running the show at one of the shops there for over 20 years at this point. So if you want skateboard stuff, check out NJ Skate Shop or come visit me at the Jersey City shop. But yeah, my name's Bill. You can follow me on Instagram at ShredNJ. And if you want to check out our YouTube channel, which is primarily horror movies, and if you're into Italian horror movies, that's like kind of our specialty. We're the Marshalls, Marshalls at YouTube, which, I mean, there it is right there. Check us out there. And if not, that's cool too.
No, I really appreciate it. I'm just going to say real quick before we end it, shout out to Drew's Movie Club. He says Police Academy set on 4K, so I didn't know they had 4K.
No, not yet. I wish.
Oh, so he wants it on 4K.
Yeah, Shout Factory did a Blu-ray, I think, a couple of years back. I mean, I've had this one for years. This is like, I had to import this from the UK.
Nice, man. So yeah, I appreciate everyone watching, and you can always watch it on the rerun. So all right, thanks guys.
No, appreciate you guys. Thanks, man.